Tales from the Tavern, The Wizard, Part 3. I ran, faster than I had ever ran in my life. Once I came close to the village, I continued at a brisk walk, carefully observing my surroundings so as to avoid being seen and drawing suspicion. I was quite fortunate. As it was midday, and most of the townsfolk were having lunch and taking a rest before returning to their work. I arrived at my cottage without incident, and did not come out for a long time. It was a loud tapping on my door that awoke me from my restless sleep. Though I was quite startled, I did not lose my composure. I got dressed and stuck my hatchet in my belt behind my back. Could it be another vagabond seeking to take my life? The tapping came again. I walked to the door and said, "Apologies, friend, but I am very tired and not feeling well. Please come back another time, thank you."
"My good sir, this is William Thresher, the village sheriff. I insist that you please come out and have a chat with us."
With us? I thought this was quite peculiar, and began to feel the slow creep of panic. Beads of sweat began to form around my brow. I opened the door, and standing before me was the Sheriff William Thresher, two representatives of the church, and the village headman. I gave them a polite greeting, and inquired as to what is the meaning of their visit. The sheriff spoke first, stating that it has come to his attention that the village has become quite unsettled at my recent activities.
"It's a matter of preserving the peace, I'm sure you understand. I can't have half the village up in arms, accusing any poor soul that happens to cross their path of witchcraft and other such nonsense. Your endeavours have seemed to stoke the flames of their already overactive imaginations. What is it you have been doing exactly?"
I told the sheriff, but left out the part about the wizard.
"Well, it doesn't seem you've been doing anything illegal or blasphemous to me, though it is a miracle you entered that forest and lived to tell the tale on 2 separate occasions. But please do me a favour and don't go there any more. Folks are uneasy as it is."
I assured the sheriff I would not enter the forest again. We shook hands, and as he was preparing to leave, one of the clergy members gave a derisive snort and sneered.
"Sheriff, may I remind you that as representatives of the church, we are charged with rooting out any heresy, devilry, or witchcraft among the people. As we have received many reports, from roughly half your village to be precise, we are well within our rights to have this man detained until a thorough investigation is completed. If this man is as innocent as he claims to be, then he is free to go."
The sheriff, who was a more reasonable man, gave a slight grimace but reluctantly agreed. Despite my protest, I was placed under arrest and put in a small wooden shed that was locked from the outside. I was, however, able to keep my mind occupied by being able to gaze out of a small barred window that faced the village centre. A few hours went by and a crowd started to gather. Standing on a small crate in the middle of the village centre was the other clergyman. He was giving a passionate speech about the evils of witchcraft and the eternal damnation of the soul for anyone who practiced it.
"Evil lurks around every corner, my good people. Even here and now there are devils and sorcerers amongst you, but over there in that shed stands a man accused of witchcraft and consorting with demons. As servants of God, are we not charged to destroy evil wherever it lurks? Are we commanded by God to ignore the heretic under the cloak of tolerance, should the righteous man, children of the Lord, turn a blind eye to the wickedness of the evil man, the children of Satan? I say to you."
My attention was broken as the sneering clergyman appeared before my window. His face was full of delight.
"It appears that you are indeed guilty of what you have been accused of, as we suspected. We know about your meetings with the wizard, and a man who was last seen headed toward the forest this morning came back with his mind addled and missing 2 fingers. You have been consorting with a wizard, a servant of the devil. He has taught you his foul witchcraft, and you put a spell under this poor man so we would not find out. But oh, we did. We did indeed. And tonight you will be burned at the stake."
My blood boiled with anger. But as I attempted to speak, the clergyman walked away, so happy he was almost skipping. I sat down, clutching my face with my hands. When the sun finally dipped below the horizon, there was a large wooden pyre that had been erected, with a pole protruding out of it. The crowd gathered once again, holding many torches. The torchlight danced in the night. A flickering of a brilliant orange, red and yellow licked against the wooden houses. The speaker began again, and the crowd went into a frenzy, slamming their fists and stomping their feet. This was my doom. These were my final moments. I sat down again, clutched my crucifix, and began to make peace with God. Uncontrollable tears surfaced and streamed down my cheeks. I could not decide what I resented more, my foolish bravado or the ignorance of these simple people. But it did not matter, so I continued to pray.